going on, everybody? It is that time where we have our friend of the ecosystem. We're going to have a great interview. Yesterday, as you guys know, we had technical difficulties, but that is okay. We rescheduled for the next day because we do not want to miss this interview with Amir Taaki. This guy is an absolute legend. I'm so very excited. Let's get this intro out of the way, and then we're going to jump right into it. For those who don't know, THORChain is the world's leading Bitcoin DEX. You can swap 13 different blockchains across 41 different pools without using bridges or wrap tokens. Check it out at swap.thorchain.org, swap.thorchain.org. Anyone in the world can use THORChain. There's no account open, no KYC required, and privacy is a human right. THORChain has two tokens, Rune and TCY. The fees for swapping on THORChain are paid in Rune, and that's where the yield comes from. The fees are deducted from swaps, so you don't need to own Rune to trade on THORChain. The Rune token is also deflationary as 5% of fees are burned. 10% of protocol fees goes to TCY token holders. Remember to stake your TCY tokens in order to collect this yield. There are no block rewards on THORChain. The protocol fees are real money paid by real users. THORChain is more than just a DEX, you guys. It is a programmable layer 1 with the ability to create smart contracts and apps. This app layer is being built by Regira. If you need help, guys, with THORChain in general, please join the THORChain community Discord and Telegram group. Links for those are on thorchain.org, thorchain.org. And on thorchain.org, you guys, you can also join our email list. It's the best way to stay up to date with THORChain. And always remember, guys, this podcast is for information and educational purposes only. It does not constitute financial, investment, or legal advice. The THORChain community does not endorse or condone illicit activity of any kind whatsoever. And with that out of the way, you guys, my name is Denny. I go by Patriot Sounds online. I've been looking forward to this conversation for a long time now. I think it's been about 2 months in the making, because for those who don't know, XMR is getting really close on THORChain, but I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm going to kick it to my main man, Kenton. How's it going, Kenton?
Good, man. Thank you. And normally I ask our guests to introduce themselves, but I actually would like to introduce you, Amir. So give me a moment here. I got a blurb I wrote down. So Amir is one of the first 5 Bitcoin developers in 2010. His work focused on privacy, which led to the first lines of code for CoinJoin and Stealth. He's worked 20 years on free software like Linux because he's ideological about freedom. Amir created the fastest implementation of Bitcoin, called LibBitcoin, which is still the fastest. He founded the first UK Bitcoin exchange, called Bitcoin. He started the first Bitcoin conferences in 2011 and 2012. He started the BIP process as the author of BIP 0001. Amir founded the first privacy wallet for Bitcoin, called Dark Wallet, alongside Cody Wilson, inventor of the 3D printed gun, and Vitalik Buterin, inventor of Ethereum. The team implemented the first versions of CoinJoin and Stealth addresses. Many of the Ethereum co-founders, like Mihai Alisi and Gavin Wood, met through this project and were heavily influenced early on by it. Amir's early work is cited as the direct inspiration behind Ethereum. Amir founded as Assange DAO, which raised $55 million for Julian Assange's freedom. It was the second largest DAO raise in history at the time. For a decade, Amir also did anarchist activism, founding hack labs and social centers in squatted buildings throughout Europe. Today, he's working on DarkFi, a layer 1 blockchain for anonymous applications. They created the world's first and only anonymous DAO, the world's most private peer-to-peer chat, anonymous DEX, payments, and more. In August 2024, Amir tweeted, "I actually really like THORChain." And with that, Amir, I'm really happy to have you join us today. This is going to be great. It's going to be a lot of fun.
And he, unfortunately, looks like he dropped again.
He dropped. Oh, no.
Yeah, his signal got weak again. So maybe we'll reach out to him, Kent. I know this is just the thing, unfortunately. At least we got him for a second, right? And he didn't say any words on stream yet, but we have proof that he was here.
Well, let me give him some minute. When did he actually drop?
Right as you were starting your intro, unfortunately.
Oh my gosh!
I didn't want to.
Maybe he got embarrassed and he hung up.
He says, "I can't handle this. Get out of here." Yeah. Poor
Sure.
guy, you guys. He doesn't.
I-
He doesn't have AC. He was telling us before the stream he doesn't have AC. So it's oh man, I can only imagine. Oh boy. So hopefully he joins the stream right away. Gets back on there. But he got really pixelated, and the quality got real low.
He
So I'm assuming he lost connection.
he was already
So
pixelated before. Um,
yeah.
so I don't know. Yeah. We'll just hang out. We'll just
Yeah, we'll
filibuster, I
hang
guess.
out. Yeah,
So
filibuster
yeah,
till he comes back.
yeah. Sorry, guys. Amir had technical trouble yesterday, and then same with this morning, getting up. Sorry, we're late. Okay,
There he
there he
is.
is,
He's back.
joining back in.
All right. Very
Um,
cool.
but this is
Uh,
crypto, I guess. We're gonna keep
yeah.
pushing forward. We're gonna make this happen no matter what.
Well, absolutely. There is never giving up, especially when you got someone like Amir here. Amir, can you hear us, man? How you doing? Let's make sure.
If
The
you,
technical
it might be better not. There you go.
Perfect. Okay,
Are you there?
we got. Hey, Amir, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you. It's just the website cut out. It was very weird.
Yeah,
I was
yeah, no
waiting for it to
worries,
load.
man. Kenton gave you the best intro ever, and you left right as it started.
Oh, thank you.
I'm trying to get you
Thank you,
jacked
thank you.
to you know, some people don't like talking about themselves. So I wanted to talk about you, give you a nice accolades, get you all excited. I just ran through your
Cool, thank you.
basically your entire resume, and
Oh, damn.
Yeah,
Now
that's a
I'll be
lot.
humble. I'm going the other way. I'll be unhumble.
Yeah.
So I just want to, and then you tweeted a couple years ago that you actually really like THORChain, and so I want to thank you for that, and maybe we can just start there. So you're familiar with THORChain, you've known about it now for a few years.
Yeah, I used it a few times.
Great.
I just found it very handy, and I didn't really see. There was like another project that was doing that. That was like on the level of THORChain in terms of like integrating new blockchains, and it just kind of worked. I also met the guy who ran it. I forgot his name.
JP.
What's his name? Yeah, JP. I thought he was a cool guy. He had a very chat-like energy, which I like. So I was like, yeah. People always ask me. Okay, they ask like, what's your favorite project? And I will go, Dark Fight. And then they go, okay, what else is out there? And I will give a few answers. Sometimes I talk about THORChain, so it's
Nice. Well,
But I'm interested to know. How THORChain is doing personally, because I'm not following too closely, to be honest. I'm more like a casual person. So I know recently there was a hack. So maybe you can tell me a bit more about that. That'd be interesting. Or what challenges THORChain's having, and where it's at as a project. What's the future like?
Well,
I think it's cool that you got the Monero upgrade as well. That's very positive. I've been waiting
buddy.
for that. I think a big reason Zcash pumped was because of the near integration. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but
Yeah.
but the thing with the near intense is they're like, oh, you can buy Zcash, using these intents. But I was saying, I don't think that it's censorship resistant. I think because there's a matching engine, there's some kind of oracle at some point, and so at some point that will, if it attracts enough attention, it will get shut down. But I think for now, users just appreciate how easy it is to acquire Zcash this way, and they're kind of sweeping that risk under the rug.
yeah.
So I think kind of something like THORChain with Monero is a bit more resilient than the near intense. So anyway, just random shower thoughts. Sorry to interrupt you.
No. You're right. So near, they're basically connecting users with market makers, and those market makers or solvers, it's a permissioned list, and because you basically have a direct counterparty, then those solvers or those market makers, they censor transactions, and they have frozen transactions before. So it's, in my mind, it's really no different than like Changely or Change Now, these so-called DEX in the front, SEX in the back type exchanges. At some point there's an off-chain transaction, and that's where the censorship occurs, right? So with THORChain, there is no off-chain transactions. Everything's on-chain, and the counterparty is the liquidity pool. There's no one to say no, basically. But the hack, it's honestly just like, yes, how THORChain was going. It was going really good. We had lots of positive momentum, lots of new features coming. We're bringing Zcash and Monero, and then the hack happened. It just kind of sucked the wind out of our sails. But the hack it was a bug in GG20 cryptography that had been there for years. And just
what's GG20? I'm not familiar.
That's the cryptography that we
DKLS
use. DKLS.
Oh,
it's like a threshold scheme signature cryptography. So
Okay,
it's like
interesting.
MPC cryptography for
Oh,
MPC.
interesting. Okay.
And so, in my opinion, I think Mythos got leaked and somebody was able to use it to figure this out, because it's a pretty sophisticated hack, and like AI is finding all these bugs and code that's been around for decades, right? So,
Well, the Zcash hack, the Zcash bug was interesting as well. I don't know if you heard about that.
Yeah, exactly.
They found that with AI as well,
Yeah.
Yes, they did.
and they didn't.
So-
They didn't even use that good of a prompt. They literally just said like, "Is there a bug?"
Yeah.
and then but it was crazy because the bug was so deep in the code. It was like one of those things where it's like something very deep down in the code, which is like very easy to miss.
Yeah.
But it's interesting for ZK because and people have been saying now, because before there's this idea of formal verification. So the problem with formal verification is that to actually write the code, it's a lot of hard work. It's a very specialist skill as well. But now they're like, oh, well, we can do it with AI. So AI can write formal verification code, so we could have formally verified cryptography. So yes, AI is finding hacks, but ironically, it might actually lead to the software becoming hack-proof, which is a very interesting, possibility.
Yeah. Well, because we can use AI to secure it too, right? We have.
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
Yeah, but not just to secure it, but like literally, there's this concept called formal verification, where it's like, if you have formal verification, you can state some assumptions. So for example, in Zcash, it would be like, there is no new money created. And you can prove it. You can prove it definitively by having formal verification of the code. But it's like a special type of code that you write alongside your normal code. But basically that, when you run that code, it will tell you, yes, this code is like secure. There is no hidden inflation attacks. It will like definitively tell you that about your code. But before, that code was very difficult to write as a human. But now we're like, oh, well, maybe the AI can write it, which is very interesting. Like that might end up, that's why I'm saying like we had the Thor thing, you speculate, it's not a wrong speculation. I think, yeah, it could be true. There's like a lot of merit to that, especially now you're telling me, you say it's GKSS, right?
Oh, sorry.
GK secret
No,
sharing.
GG20 and GG.
Oh, GG20.
It's the first letters of two last names of the cryptographers. Something in Greg and Guggenheim or something.
Okay. So it was the paper they wrote.
Yeah. And then
Like 2020. Okay.
And then DKLS.
And there was a bug in the cryptography.
Yeah.
Yes. That's correct.
And DKLS is
Oh,
another type of cryptography, like another. So we're actually,
okay.
yeah. So I think we're going to switch over
Interesting.
to DKLS
I
style
see.
of
Yeah.
cryptography, in part because of this.
There's a
We were already, that was
Let
already
me
part
look
of
it
the
up.
roadmap to switch from GG20 to DKLS. It just, you know, bandwidth, it's just like we didn't, so many things for us to work on. And we didn't obviously realize there's this issue with GG20. And so, yeah. So it sucks, man. It's
there's a
unfortunate. It's frustrating. But if there's no individual no individual users lost any money. It was all protocol-owned liquidity. So the protocol bore the cost and absorbed the loss. And we
unfortunate.
lost
Yeah, you
it
dropped
again.
again. Dang it. Dang it.
The Paris doesn't like internet either, I guess. No AC, no internet.
Yeah, I know. Dang it. They're living
The
in the Stone
the
Age over
left
there.
is really, yeah, they're really getting to us here. Um,
Yeah.
so
Yeah. It's for those who don't know, I'll filibuster a little bit while Amir gets back on. We actually wanted to go DKLS, as Kenton said, but there were actually technical reasons why we could not. There's something called identifiable aborts. Basically, what that means, to keep it super simple, is that one node could essentially freeze the whole network, right? And we wouldn't be able to churn, and it would be a disaster. So, identifiable aborts actually came, I think Chad Bareford said, about a month prior to the exploit of GG20. So it's just unfortunate timing. So, because THORChain secures real exogenous capital, changing cryptography, it's not a simple plug and play kind of thing. It requires a lot of engineering, and to get DKLS on THORChain is going to require a lot more engineering as well. So, when THORChain was invented, DKLS didn't exist. We were using something called GG18 at the time. Then we upgraded GG20. And here we are trying to upgrade to DKLS. So, it's just part of the process, but, but like Kenton said, no users lost money, and I think we've recovered quite well from this exploit, so that's good. The protocol is back. We've churned. We're now doing another churn, so it's a
and
beautiful thing.
so technically, the network, the protocol, lost the money, right? And
Yes.
so THORChain, as a entity, for lack of a better term, the market cap of Rune lost that money, that value, and so so it's not like, so somebody has to lose, right? So in essence, the loss is socialized over every Rune token holder, and but we're moving towards protocol owned, to send part of the fees towards protocol owned liquidity.
Yes.
So instead of to nodes, and so we should be able to fill that hole, basically add another 10 million of liquidity over the next year or two, or however long it takes. So in the long run, we should be able to pay it back, basically,
Yeah.
and not be a permanent loss. So, and there's a debate going on within the THORChain community, what percentage of the fees we should put towards this protocol and liquidity. I'm in the camp that wants it higher, so we can pay back, fill up this $10 million void sooner rather than later. So, yeah. See, let me look at my phone here, see if Amir's messaging me or not.
Yeah, no worries. Hey guys, if you're watching, please, if you got any questions at all, put them in the thing. We can ask Amir here. There's a lot to talk about. As you guys know, XMR is getting very, very, very close. It's really, really exciting. I saw some words in Dev Discord that they're going to start pushing into validators to start running the chain client soon. So
Oh,
it's
wow.
getting quite serious. Yeah, it's getting
Well,
quite serious.
It's funny because, Amir asked about the hack, and a few people have speculated that THORChain was targeted on purpose because Monero was coming out, and they thought, maybe this is Big Brother trying to stop us. And now here we are having a podcast about Monero.
They're attacking us every angle.
This is the first, the most trouble we've had since we started doing this. was this weekend with Amir. So like, I don't know, the circumstantial evidence is adding up.
Dang it! You know what, Kenton? I need to go get my tinfoil. I just start wrapping tinfoil right around my head like this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But no, it's true. And you know, to add on to that, Kenton, for those who don't know, like, so a lot of people just assume, oh, someone took an AI model, they pointed at THORChain, they found this exploit. Well, that's not really the case. This was actually an extremely sophisticated attack on THORChain. The person who attacked us was very advanced knowledge in cryptography, insofar as we had the inventors of GG20 and various other leading cryptography experts. It took them days to figure out the attack vector. And once they finally figured out the attack vector, they spoon-fed it in every way they possibly can imagine to all the AI models that we had access to. You could make the assumption there's a super advanced AI model, but regardless, we spoon-fed to every AI model and just given it to on a silver platter, the AI could not take advantage of the exploit. So it is the firm opinion by the cryptographers, this was someone who knew the math and did the deep dive, and they attacked THORChain and were able to take one of our vaults. And we had 5 vaults at the time, guys. So we didn't lose everything, but we lost roughly 20%.
That's a great point. No, I'm glad you said that. And like, but this is why I'm wondering if it was Mythos, because with the current models, it couldn't be done. But I'm wondering if Mythos is living up to its hype. Maybe you spoon feed some of that info with the Mythos, and it could figure it out. But you're right. At current, yeah, go ahead.
Well, what I was going to say is Chad, I think, remember Chad said that, because the one thing that Mythos does really good is its concatenation. You can find one problem, but it doesn't have an effect because it's not enough. It's like, how can I say this? Okay, like trying to make fire in space, right? You're in outer space. How do you make fire? Okay, you have oxygen. Do you have fire? No. You add fuel. Do you have fire? No. Do you add an ignition source? Okay, well then you got fire, right? And so the concatenation of finding all of these issues, that's how I was able to find exploit. But the way Chad Bareford said it is that's not what happened here. This was a very deep, nuance that depended on the math itself. So he thinks it wasn't Mythos, but who knows, Kenton? It could very well have been. It's all speculation.
I'm speculating, right? It just could be someone's really smart, right? That's But I'm just curious why they figured it out now. And well, to be fair, you never know. Maybe it's the first time you heard of THORChain, maybe whatever. Maybe he had been working on it for years, and he just figured out how to do it today, type thing. Come on, Amir, we know you can do this.
Hopefully he gets back on there. He joined and dropped again. But, regardless, guys, I hope if there's anything that signals the THORChain's back, we're churning, where swaps are going. I hope this just demonstrates the resiliency of what happened and gives people like faith. Like, THORChain constantly runs into problems because we're like one of the most technically challenging protocols ever. We're so complex, but we're really good at solving problems. And so when the exploit happened, we had a podcast the very same day. We hopped on, we explained what we knew at the time. We gave various updates. I missed a few of those. Kenton did a great job with Chad Bareford giving people updates. And it took some weeks. There were some things we tried that didn't work out, but we got the network back up. So, life goes on. And all the things that we were working on, the work didn't stop. That's why XMR is soon to be coming, you guys. And that's so exciting. So I just pushed Amir looks like he's trying to join again. So this is why we're going to have Amir here. I think when he gets back, Kenton, I want to really jump into the meat and potatoes of what this means. Because who knows, if he's having some issues, with his signal. But, and we really appreciate Amir doing this with us, guys. I know he's been really busy with the conference. So, we were more than happy to be patient, especially if he's having some difficulties with signal. Totally get it. These are things that are beyond our control.
He's sitting in an oven right now. It's 45 degrees.
I know. He's hot. He's miserable. So, hey, Amir.
I'm not miserable.
You're not miserable? I want you.
No, I'm very happy.
With the heat. Go ahead, buddy.
I'm like a brown person. I should be able to adapt. But it's the conference was yesterday. It's finished now. Now it's just like a lazy Sunday.
Good.
Well, that's cool, man.
Listen,
I'm a bit slow. I woke up at like 2 p.m. or something. Rolled out of bed.
I'd love to jump into it with you. So what kickstarted us
Yeah, I looked up.
setting this up is
I looked up the paper, the THORChain one.
yeah.
Yeah, it's the one is one whole threshold ECDSA by Gennaro and Goldfeder 2020.
Huh.
Okay.
Yes. Yep. So we wanted to switch to DKLS.
Oh,
You did
shit.
great.
Sorry, it said the recording has stopped.
Yeah,
I'm
I
not
don't
being
know how.
recorded.
Huh.
Coke, do you
So
know
let me
what
click
happened?
Oh,
refresh.
Coke's not here. Yeah. Maybe refresh and
Oh.
see.
It wants. If I refresh, it will reload the website and cut it.
Yeah.
Should I do that?
It's okay.
Okay,
That's
let
okay.
me
We
try.
haven't had any meat and potatoes yet. You go ahead because we really want to talk about XMR coming, and that's why we're so excited to have you today. So I'm gonna go
Boy.
get the tinfoil, Kenton. I'm getting the tinfoil.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna put tinfoil. Yeah.
I think Coke has got some editing to do here.
Yeah.
Post production.
He's lazy. That Estonian needs work to do. You know,
He's
he's
gonna
one lazy son of a gun.
He's gonna earn his keep on this one.
He better.
What were we talking about before he came back? You were talking about.
We're talking about the recovery of the network and how we've done, and you know, we solve problems, we adapt and overcome, and that's exactly what we're doing, dude. Because guys, I just shout you out, like THORChain is the original ethos of blockchain: permissionless, non KYC access, peer to peer stuff. Like that's the way it's supposed to be, right? Now, where our design, we're peer to pool. But that allows people to transact with anyone in the world. You can build point of sale applications on THORChain. That's actually being done. It's just free, neutral, permissionless infrastructure, just like a highway. That's the way it needs to go. And that's the ethos that THORChain is going to continue. And it's so exciting, Kenton, because if people pay attention to the dev Discord, we got a lot of new node operators coming online. A lot of work has been done. And a lot more are coming, you guys. And these are original OG. So and some people actually DM me. They're like, "Hey, are you sure these people are legit?" You guys, they're legit. I promise. We've known these people for years. I'm not, of course, going to tell you who they are, but you would know their avatars if you saw them. So
Nice.
it's so exciting, man.
I'm glad we can at least blame you if anything happens with them.
That's right. I'm the scapegoat. I am the scapegoat on this
You're
one.
vouching for him.
I am vouching for them.
No, I'm sure if there are OGs, then they'll be great. So I'm glad they're doing it for sure.
Yes.
That's what we definitely need, more individual node operators.
Yes.
Than actual nodes. I agree with that.
100%.
So let's give us another go with Amir. Hey there, buddy. Can you hear us? Amir?
Yeah, buddy. Amir's back. Amir, we'll take as long as it's necessary because what is happening on THORChain is so unbelievably revolutionary. So, Amir, we'll do a little audio check to make sure you can hear us. I can hear you. All right, yeah, I can hear you.
Yes, typical.
Awesome. So, Amir, I don't know if you heard. I'm assuming you are familiar. You know, THORChain. You did mention THORChain is adding XMR. We are getting extremely close. We may be just mere weeks away. And this will be the first ever permissionless non-KYC access for XMR for anyone in the world. It's going to help protect people against, KYC attacks. I'm sure you're very familiar with that. And just like the point you allude to about Zcash, the price of Zcash going up because it gave access. I'm just wondering if you'd like to share any thoughts on this. This is something that is a really, really popular topic within our
but there's in Cake Wallet, I can buy Monero without KYC.
But so it goes through Let's Exchange, and so they're centralized. Like they.
Right.
So you're saying it's the first decentralized.
Right. Anyone in the world. Right. Anyone in the world.
Oh, it said I'm not being recorded. Again.
We didn't get that notification. Oh, maybe there is no record on his side.
I think we just go Amir.
Let's just go Amir. Oh, well, you know what? We don't want to. We want to. This is okay.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, we're just gonna go because you're here. We'll talk with you, and we just want to talk with you.
Check Signal. Okay.
What'd you say about Signal?
Perfect.
Yeah. So
I sent a screenshot of what's happening.
Okay. Yeah, but so a lot of centralized exchanges or exchanges in general, they're gated. There's a geofence or something like this, right? With THORChain, you don't even need an interface.
Well, it's just
We're
like,
trying, you
I
guys.
feel like the
We're
universe
trying.
is just telling us not to do this. This is one of those. Like, we appreciate, well, Amir, keep trying.
Yeah, keep trying. I
Um,
appreciate it. He's very
uh,
patient with us.
yeah. I mean,
But
I'm personally ready to give up. Um,
yeah, I don't want
uh,
to. He's I know he's probably sleep deprived from. He said he was really hot, you guys. From I know he said he's brown, he's tough, and he is. But gosh dang, it's hot. You know what I mean? I'm brown myself. I'm part Native American for those who don't know, and when it gets to 45 degrees, 50 degrees Celsius, I feel it too. So it is what it is. And if you didn't have AC, oh Lord have mercy, that's a rough deal, you guys. It is.
he he just said, European internet. I'm in a third world country right now. Um,
Yeah,
um,
that's
he's
crazy.
not, he's air conditioning. He's not air conditioning. Apparently, it's illegal or has been banned in his building or in Paris or something like that. It's 45 degrees Celsius.
That's crazy.
Um,
That's crazy.
so I'm just messaging him here on Signal.
You guys, I run
Um,
AC to keep my guns comfortable. You understand? Like I don't even have to be home. I could be home, not home for weeks, and I would have my AC running all the time. Like it's no big deal. So this is to me, this does break my brain over here
well,
in the
you kind
states.
of you have to keep it going. In Cayman anyway, we got to keep it at least 80 or lower, 80 Fahrenheit or lower. So because if you keep letting it, if you turn it off and
Yeah,
off, mold will grow
yeah,
because you get condensation, right, and from the
yeah,
water droplets and stuff. So like you have to keep it on to maintain the stable temperature, and then in general too, it also helps dry out. That's how AC it cools, it dries the air. Like your fridge sucks humidity
yes,
out of the air to help cool it.
right.
And so sucking the humidity out of your house helps prevent mold. So you do have to keep it going. Um,
I don't like my guns getting rusty, you guys. That's why I keep the AC on. You know what I mean?
yeah.
It's very important. You know what I mean?
Let's see here,
Yeah,
guys. I don't know if he's trying.
yeah. Well, for those who haven't heard, whether Amir can make it here or not, XMR is coming very soon, you guys. So if you are anyone in the world, right, there's been a lot of data breaches with various centralized exchanges. Speaking of Paris, right, in France, people did hear about 40 or so people being horribly abducted because their identity was leaked. They were doxxed, and it was known that they did have crypto. And they suffered horribly from that. And that's the whole point of what THORChain is doing here. We want XMR to be on THORChain for anyone in the world in order for people to regain privacy so they can protect themselves. This is essential, okay? It's about making the average person's life better because it's not like this in traditional finance. If I go to Kenton's shop, I'm buying some scuba gear at Kenton's scuba shop. If I transact, there's no way he's going to know my history, right? But with blockchain, that's not the case. Not only will he know how much money I have then, but he'll know how much money I've ever had and where I've sent it to. This is a disaster, you guys. It's so obvious that this is right. So, a lot of people are. Go ahead, Kenton.
I say it's right from a morality point of view.
100%.
This is why I wanted to chat with Amir about it because everyone's worried about if this truly works and say THORChain helps accelerate Monero adoption. It flies in the face of Big Brother, central banking, the whole, if you believe in the Titanic, everyone opposing the Federal Reserve is on the Titanic, they all got killed type thing. Like, this isn't, Big Brother won't stand by and watch this happen, right? They're going to want to stop it, try and fight it. So, um, I don't know. We'll see. It'll be interesting to see what happens. But yeah, I was really looking forward to asking Amir about this because he's obviously been in the sector since the beginning. He helped start this entire industry. So
Right.
it'd be interesting to get his insights on it. Obviously, he hasn't been, I don't think he's been ever put in jail.
Not that I've
Um,
heard, but I'd be curious
no.
to hear from him.
Yeah.
Maybe he's had conversations maybe with
Yeah.
various agencies. I'm sure people reach out to him, but
Yeah.
yeah,
So like, well, for example, like if he's behind CoinJoin, that's specifically a privacy service for Bitcoin, right? So
right.
like, be interested to hear his point of view on that, writing that code, how he feels, if he's ever been threatened, does he have any concerns about it coming back to him? Um, um, yeah, really, really, really curious to know that. This is, but going back to THORChain, like the whole point of THORChain is to be an exchange, right? Indirectly, people can use it to go do other things, but the direct purpose of THORChain is an exchange to swap tokens. The direct purpose of THORChain isn't to provide privacy or anything like that.
Right.
So if, in my mind, that's what keeps THORChain safe in a sense, is that any privacy preserving things are happening off of THORChain. They're happening on Monero. They're happening on Ethereum. On Ethereum through Tornado Cash. Happening on Bitcoin through CoinJoin. Like, so that's where the actual obfuscation, the actual privacy
Right.
is happening. If people don't know, like if you swap Monero on THORChain, all the same public data that exists on Bitcoin, everything that's recorded and done on Bitcoin is the same on Monero. Like the THORChain is going to track all the exact same information. It's all going to be public on the THORChain blockchain. So technically speaking, Monero on THORChain is no different than Bitcoin or Ethereum.
Correct.
All the same data is recorded between them. So and this I think this is why actually Seth for Privacy, who's with Cake Wallet, Amir mentioned Cake Wallet earlier. I believe this is why Seth actually mentioned to us at the Bitcoin conference that because of that, in a roundabout way, THORChain actually makes Monero less private because
Yeah,
it's recording these
possibly.
transactions. So yeah, which from people are worried about THORChain catching heat or the Eye of Sauron, that should be helpful to us, right? That we're not further obfuscating anything. But
Yeah.
basically, someone can get around it if they want. Once they buy Monero through THORChain, they just do some hops on Monero, and then they can come back, swap that, third or fourth transaction in Monero, go swap it back to Bitcoin or Ethereum, whatever token they want, and then they essentially start with the new clean history Bitcoin.
Yeah, and I'm glad you mentioned that, Kenton. That's how you protect yourself, guys. Like if you are currently out there, if you have been doxxed, I have been doxxed. I had a data leak myself, right? So I know what that's like. It sucks. That's how you would get privacy for yourself to protect yourself. Go to Monero, but everything's on a public, everything can be seen on a block explorer. You have to take an additional step from there, right? And then you can regain privacy that way. So I'm really glad you pointed that out, Kenton.
Yeah. And this is privacy for like honest people. We're not talking about how to
No, of
evade
course,
the
yeah.
laws. Like, when you go buy something with crypto, you don't want people to see your entire transaction history,
Yes.
your balance. No different than when you shop at the store, you don't see someone seeing your checking account, how much money is there, or all your transaction history of your checking account. Like we don't want to show anybody that. So that's what's exciting for us with THORChain, is that we should be able to enable these point of sale terminals, these POS terminals, to transact in Monero, or maybe do some hops in Monero before delivering the merchant Bitcoin or stable coins or whatever. It could be a huge step forward in adding privacy to transactions in crypto. So it'd be really exciting to see how it unfolds. Part of me wonders or worries, like, are we just like getting too excited, much ado about nothing? Like, and it's gonna be, gonna take some time for people to figure this out? Or do you think it's gonna be like right out of the gate that like, people start using it?
Well, I think that's a good question, Kenton, and I think we take this time to remind people when XMR goes live, the liquidity will be extremely shallow. We're talking a few $1,000s, guys, because we're testing it as hard and vigorously as we can. It's passing all our checks, but there could still be bugs, right? If it goes live on THORChain, there is a decent chance that it can pause right away because it encountered some nuanced thing that we can't replicate in our testing environment, because mainnet is always the ultimate test. It's just, you can't replicate, arbitrageurs and the interaction between all the different chains and all the nuance. It's just too much variable. So hopefully it's good, but usually every single chain, there's always bugs, right, Kenton? And XMR probably is going to be no different, and particularly because XMR is the most complicated chain we've ever added. Yeah, guys, so please, if it goes live, do not attempt to like swap like $10,000 something. If you want to try like 20, $50 or something just to experience it, great, thank you. You're going to help us, test it. That I really appreciate that, but don't go ham yet, okay? Let us dial it in, make sure it's secure, and we will gradually increase the depth of the pool as we get more and more confident that it is functioning correctly. So I think that's important people keep in mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's always somebody who goes ham. They can't handle their alcohol, can't handle their permissionless XMR. They're gonna get too excited and go for it. So be interesting to see. But we've been warning people about this for weeks, months now, to just go slow. Let us go slow. So hopefully the message is out there. Hopefully people are getting it.
Well, when it goes live, I think we'll put on our socials, I know you're ready for this. Like, hey, it's live, but shallow liquidity. We'll do everything we possibly can to get the word out. But yeah. Well, you think Amir's probably given up? I understand.
Yeah, he hasn't replied again. So like, let me just message him one more time.
I mean, we can try again in the future in some date. It's unfortunate because XMR is so close to going live, but we're trying our best, you guys. Me and Kenton meeting up here again on Sunday to make this show happen. We're really trying to go the extra mile here. So I delayed a lot of work I had to do today to do this. So, there's only so much that we can do. I know it's disappointing. We really love Amir, and we really wanted to talk with him, but if he doesn't have good connection.
Because I mean, he's an OG. So this is a thing like, if anyone can comment on the implications of Monero on THORChain, it's him, right? You should be able to have a pretty interesting view on it. And then also too, DarkFi. Maybe, we should, when I try and rebook this with them, we'll learn more about DarkFi.
Yeah.
And Boone joining us in the lobby. Should we let him in?
But just do it, whatever.
All right.
Boone!
There you go, Boone.
Hey,
Not quite Amir, but we'll take you.
We'll take you.
Yeah. I'm going shopping and was so that's why I don't have video. But I saw things not going great, and which is unfortunate. I was very looking forward to hearing from Amir. I wanted to take this opportunity to plug ADR 29, which sets per asset fees, and particularly for XMR, as we've been talking about. So I just wanted to kind of expand awareness of this to the community, and then also tie in POL, which we do need to change the Amir from economic to operational, I think. So just wanted to spread that awareness as well. But if we get good volume in the shallow Monero pool, then the POL should funnel to it, and then it can grow organically. So just want to kind of put those ideas out there.
For those who don't know, because I know we have people who are not too familiar with THORChain, we have a global setting for the fees on THORChain. So when you do swaps, we have a min basis points fees. So what Boone is proposing essentially is we have individual pools of each exogenous asset. These are real exogenous assets. Everything's paired with Rune. What he's suggesting is that we have specific fees for specific pools, and Monero is a great example of this because what we would essentially have is a air quotes monopoly. You can swap for it in other ways, but in the implementation we have are true permissionless. It is we'd be the only game in town, really. And so 50 basis points, I think you floated, right, Boone? So nothing crazy, but I think it's a good way to reward THORChain. And also, if we had more fees, I would assume that would translate to more POL, as Boone said, which would deepen the pool organically, which is great, which would be really awesome. So thanks, Boone.
Boone, but I still don't understand really the difference between what you want and dynamic fees. In my mind, they're the same. Like, it's just...
Okay, yeah. So I actually think that there's some fundamental issues with the dynamic fee feature as it's currently written, which will make it not achieve the intended goal. The biggest one is that the dynamic fees only apply to L1 swaps with a affiliate fee. And the affiliate fee doesn't really matter so much. The important part is it only applies to L1 swaps. So just theoretically, let's say a certain pair has been granted a 3 bips fee, right? Instead of the 10 we have standard right now. Let's say it's down to 3. And so when the L1 swapper, the user, goes, the protocol is going to chop up their swap into as many subswaps as necessary to give 3 bips slip, which is also 3 bips fees for that swap. And so then that will be executed against the pool. However, ARBs still have the 10 bips minimum fee. And so there won't be the counterflow to rebalance the pool to allow the next 3 bips swap. So there won't be reliable counterflow if there's less than a 10 bips dislocation in the price pool. And so therefore, I think the feature will kind of be dead on arrival. Now, maybe a L1 swapper will get lucky and, someone will be going from Bitcoin to ETH and someone else will be going from ETH to Bitcoin and they both have low fees, then that would work. But without changing the min bips for the ARBs to give counterflow to the reduced fee L1 swappers, I just don't think it's going to work as intended. So that's the biggest reason. And then also, as I've kind of been pointing out recently, just due to the nature of constant product AMM pools and the mathematical structure of THORChain, and if you look at it, it's about actually 60% of THORChain's volumes is ARBs. And so you can kind of, this is rough, it's not exact, but roughly for every L1 swap, then there's the counterflow of the ARB. So ARB should be about half of THORChain's volume always, right? And so if this feature only applies to the L1 swaps, it's not affecting half, or really, in practice, 60% of the volume of THORChain. And then I just looked at like a 2-hour period, because if you're looking at block level data, it gets, data gets expensive quickly. But that subsection that the feature would apply to, L1 swaps that have an affiliate fee, in the 2-block period I looked at, it was only 33% of THORChain's volume. So if that holds, the feature would only affect 33% of the protocol's volume and hence 33% of the protocol's revenue. And so for all those reasons, I don't think the feature as currently implemented will actually work the way we would hope it to. And then, so to contrast that, the ADR 29 that I threw together, I have a draft MR as well, and it does play nice with the dynamic fees. So if they are ever in conflict, it just chooses the higher of the two. So if the dynamic fees are higher, then it goes with that. Or if the minimum bips of the per asset is higher, then it goes with that. And a big, I don't even know the right word, but like a reason why it makes more sense is it doesn't just apply to those L1 swaps, it applies to all swaps. And so it will monetize that 60% of flow, or if we go with, the 33% number, it would monetize that 66% of volume that Chad's feature would currently miss out on. And so it would just generate quite a bit more revenue. And again, I mainly, created this feature specifically for Monero. And yeah, so that's kind of my take there.
Well, why not just let dynamic fees, just turn it on and just see how it goes? And then you could be proven right, or Chad, or maybe neither of you, and there's some other, something nobody predicted comes up, and just see how it goes. And then
we can.
Be able to reshape, how to react to it, and then maybe we do need to implement what you're proposing, or maybe what you're proposing can just be baked in, like kind of like the dynamic fee formula and whatever can just be can be altered to be similar to what you're proposing. Um, like do you want to just not do dynamic fees period and just go straight to your fee model?
I think you've asked me two questions. Can I
Yeah,
answer
sorry.
before I?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, good. Yeah.
I'll answer the first or the second one first. So no, the concept behind dynamic fees I think is smart and I like it. And I just think the implementation should be tweaked, but like the general idea of, I mean, it supports kind of the thing that I've been pushing for a long time. But we just want to maximize revenue, and I think it makes sense to tailor the fees we charge to the venues, the front ends that use them. So I love the concept, and I support the concept. And I specifically designed this per asset fee to play nice with it because I want both features to exist. So I'm not. This is not a replacement. This is not instead of Chad's dynamic fees. Um, but like I pointed out, I think there just are issues with his feature as currently designed, and so I want to. And also, most ADRs take a while, so I don't expect my proposal to go into effect anytime soon. So hopefully, the nodes will finish voting for ADR 26, and we will see the dynamic fees functioning on their own without my feature interacting with them. So we will have that trial period, which is great, and I support. And then I had one other point I wanted to make. Hold on. Oh yeah, and then the last thing is this ADR 29, similar to the POL, is completely like additive. Like there's no, just because the code is merged into the protocol, there's no reason to turn it on, right? So it'll be, I'm proposing it as an operational Mimir, so it's very easy to turn off. There's no reason for it to be on. And so should the ADR be accepted, all it does is give the nodes more optionality. There's no requirement to even use it. So to me, it's like a no-brainer. Why not give us one more lever? There's no need to push it.
Just off the top of my head, just be time. Chad, whoever's time writing the code, getting it implemented. It's just.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I think dev lift with AI coding quickly, like, yeah, you need review, but like the features already, the draft of the feature is already there. So, it's a minimal lift to review it, in my opinion. It has a small surface area. It doesn't touch that much. And so I don't think it would really consume that much in terms of dev resources personally.
So then, what kind of feed would you? You said this. Monero is kind of the push for you, kind of wanting to do this. What fee do you think should be on Monero?
I've been throwing out 50 bips, and so a double
number, or do you have any kind of? Did you do any kind of research to come up with that?
So if you look at other, we were calling it decks in the front, sex in the back. So Dex mullets or whatever, they're kind of the cheapest about them. I'll charge about 1%, so 100 bips. And that's very standard for Monero pretty much across the board. And several of them charge more than that. And so if we're doing 50 bips on a double swap, that's a full percent there. And so it's kind of the market price. But then ours is permissionless, where theirs is not necessarily. And so by keeping it the same price but having a better product, we're there. And then the other, so that's kind of just that's the little bit of market research I did. But of course, it's not up to me; it's up to the nodes. But that's kind of the number I've been, throwing out there.
So I kind of, I'm not too sure about. I completely get being able to jack the fees because we're the only game in town. But I cannot but feel it might be just short-sighted, because if we do that, we're making all this kind of money. All that does is encourage competition. And so, like Sarai, for example, right? Say Luke Parker sees all this money we're making, and that really kicks him in the butt to get Sarai done, and then he's just going to undercut us, and then we go back and forth, and like a price battle, and so we end up having to lower our fees anyway. And I'd like us to have a monopoly, and the best way, or the only way to have like a real monopoly, like without violence, without force, is keeping your prices down. And so by keeping our prices down, we make it that much more expensive for competition to come in and take and earn market share, because they have to come in even lower, and which they might not be able to. So if we already price Monero in a way that it just makes it too hard for anyone to compete, we corner the market, and we make up the difference on volume. So I'm not too sure I want to like jack the Monero price up to 1% just because everybody else is. I kind of like to blow it out of the water. Just leave the bips we're at right now, and that should suck all the volume. If everyone else is trading at 1% or higher, and on THORChain you can do 0.2%, that's a big difference, especially if people are doing multiple swaps. That should get a lot of attention. We should be able to just suck volume from all those other exchanges and come straight to us. Whereas, some people might, if they're paying the same price between us and Let's Exchange, they might say, oh, I like Let's Exchange, I'm going to keep using it, I'm not worried about it. You know what I mean? Like, it's not, the switching cost isn't that, the opportunity for them to switch really isn't that great. If we were 5 times cheaper and we're permissionless, it's like, okay, this is a no-brainer. You go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, that's a perfectly valid line of argumentation. And I mean, sure. I guess, and I think probably, well, I think you and I probably disagree on this, and I think myself and probably most of the community, just based on just the general reception. But yeah, if we step away from specifically Monero and just like talk broader, I had posted this both in Discord and in the Telegram chat, but Near is still, because they're subsidizing their validators with token emissions, and their income from Near Intents is like 14% of their token emissions. So as a protocol, they're losing money by offering their swaps. And then looking at the last time I looked at it, which was only like 2 weeks ago, something like that, Chainflip is they made, I think, $2 million, 1.9, if I remember, over the last calendar year, year to date. No, not year to date, just the calendar year. And when I looked at it, I would want to double check, but this was based off Rainalytics, and he's pretty good. But so for a similar calendar year, THORChain made 17 million. And so, and we have, our fees are much higher than either of those protocols. And so my general consensus, or not consensus, my general argument is that right now, especially with the competitor that's stealing all our volume, they're doing that at a loss. And it doesn't make sense to play that game with them. Like, we don't want to, if they want to burn VC money, more power to them. But I don't think that makes sense for us to try to compete with them. And so if we're trying to go after all swap volume, yeah, our fees are higher and we're not going to win that game right now. But I don't think that's the game we want to play. And where THORChain's inelastic volume, it comes from 2 sources. It comes from, first, the ARBs, because it's, again, ARB volume is going to roughly equal organic volume, if we want to call it that way. And then the organic volume is people who, for whatever reason, find it to their benefit to pay us essentially for permissionlessness, right? That's the only real reason right now to use THORChain instead of any of those other services, is we are actually truly permissionless and they are not. So anyone who is using us, that's what they're paying for. And they're not paying us because we're the cheapest swap. And so my argument is like, you can kind of go either way. Like right now we're sitting in the middle and we're not the cheapest, so we're not getting that volume, but we're also not maximizing we're not maximally monetizing the permissionless flow demand. And so we should go one way or the other. And I think most people want to go cheap, but again, just based on looking at our competitors, that doesn't make sense to me, which is why, okay, if we can't go cheap, we should go more expensive. And so now returning to what you were saying about specifically XMR, again, that's a perfectly, valid argument. And you can say, capturing that flow is like building a moat and it's preventing people coming in. But I think people are going to come in no matter what. I think any amount of money that THORChain makes is other people are going to see it. I mean, Sarai's building, they were building regardless of THORChain, right? It has THORChain has nothing to do with Sarai, and I don't think the fees we charge will meaningfully change their timeline. And specifically, my understanding is Luke is, he's very particular, and he's going to launch when he's as convinced as possible that Sarai is as perfect as possible, right? I think his goal is to have 0 mistakes from day one, and so I don't think THORChain fee rate will really change his philosophy or his timeline too much, specifically. And then the other thing is, I don't think cross-chain swappers are very loyal, and I don't think there's very much friction. Like you say, oh, I'm just going to stay on Let's Exchange. I don't think there's that much lock-in, really. And I think most volume would probably go through aggregators such as SwapKit or whatever. And because it's we can, if a new entry comes in, then yeah, we can undercut them. And so
By then it's too late. We want to preemptively undercut them.
Again, right? I hear your perspective. I just don't necessarily agree. But yeah, I mean, again, I'm not trying to be right or win, but just that's my perspective. Is I'd rather see us go the high fee direction rather than the low fee direction. But I am a minority in this view, so that is what it is.
Yeah, so I think that's optimizing for the short term. So with Sarai and Luke, for example, you could be right. He's a perfectionist. He wants everything his way, but it's all open source. And so just like you piggybacked some of his code to implement it on THORChain, if someone else sees all this money THORChain is making with Monero, they'd be like, well, I'm not going to wait for Luke to start Sarai. I'm going to start Kenton XMR exchange. I'm going to go find some devs who can fork the THORChain and Sarai code and make my own platform. And this is how markets work, is people see this huge pot of money that somebody's making, and it's a magnet for entrepreneurs to come and take a piece of that. And so Sarai may never launch. Luke may never launch Sarai, but that doesn't stop others from launching their own versions. And so the more money we're making, the higher our profit margin, the easier it is for someone else to come in and grab a piece of it. And then people paying for the permissionless stuff, I get it. I agree that people are willing to pay a premium, but I think what we have seen over the years is that people just don't value permissionless like we think they should, or at least not to the same dollar amount we think they should. So THORChain has 0.1% of global spot volume. So there's 99.9% of the volume out there is more than happy to stay on centralized exchanges and do it. I could care less about competing with Chainflip and Near. I want to compete with Coinbase and Binance. How do we get that? That's where we need to get volume. And it could just be simply price, right? That they don't want to leave because it's cheaper. They're happy to take the risk of, Coinbase and Binance hasn't stolen anyone's money yet. And so maybe they're happy with it. They're comfortable. And And until THORChain is genuinely, like, really objectively cheaper, then maybe we can't capture that volume. So if we're just jacking our fees to optimize that 0.1% of volumes on THORChain, it'll feel good in the short term, but we'll never grow. We'll never have a shot at tapping into that 99.9%. So yeah, I don't. How would you? Then how do you think we get that 99.9% of volume on Sexes? How do we get that on THORChain if we're charging higher fees?
Yeah. Okay. So, man, there was a lot of points there. So, first of all, I agree with almost everything you just said, big picture. I guess where I would kind of push back first is you said you think my take is short term. And I would say, yes, you're kind of right, but I kind of more think of it as medium term, where hopefully this won't take too long, but if you kind of look at the way Elon has built his Muskonomy or whatever, right? Like everything is a stepping stone to get to Mars, right? And so he built Tesla, and then that gave his organizations operational knowledge and manufacturing. And then now there's Starship and the Boring Company, and he's obviously trying to build tunnels on Mars or the moon or whatever. And like he backed off the Mars and he's going to build the moon base first. And so it's like stepping stones, right? And so you don't go to the end right away. And so I agree. Yeah, long term, of course, we want to capture all swap volume, right? And I completely agree there. But I guess the difference is I don't think we should try to shoot for that goal right away because I don't think it's realistic. And so the first market I think we should monetize is and another thing I want to push back on. He's like, oh well, people don't value permissionlessness the way we hope we would. I don't agree with that. I think just most people don't need it yet. Okay. And like so Venmo works great for most people. Like we don't need, like most people don't need crypto yet, right? I just think we're really, really, really early. But at the same time, some people are getting debanked, and things are happening, and there is more of a push towards crypto and more, I guess, permissionlessness. But the need and therefore the demand for permissionless is just really small. But that's the only place THORChain has an edge currently is permissionlessness. And so I mean, someone would have to pull up the numbers. I don't have that in front of me. I'm not on my computer, but like what percentage of global exchange volumes is near intense right now? I don't know if you guys can look or if anyone happens to know that off the top of their head, but like, their fees are way lower than ours. How are they doing competing against Binance and Coinbase, et cetera, right now?
I think similar numbers as THORChain. I think our volumes are similar.
Okay, so I mean, they're losing money and they're still not winning that volume that you're trying to win.
Yeah, but it's a step towards it. So like you mentioned, so Elon does everything, every decision he makes to just get me closer to Mars, right? When someone buys a Tesla, they don't give a damn about Elon's mission to Mars. They're like, I want a cool car. I want a car that works, gets me to work. I can drive it, protects my kids, whatever. They don't care about the mission to Mars. And so just like THORChain's mission to Mars is this permissionless, uncensored exchange that dominates the world, the average person using THORChain they don't care about that. They want to know, can I get my Bitcoin? Can I get a good price? Is it safe? I don't want it stolen from me, right? They don't necessarily care about the big picture that we have. So, the only way Elon can get all these people buying his products is if he's solving problems for those people, or those products solve problems for those people. And our product, cross-chain swaps, what problem are we trying to solve for our customers? They don't necessarily care about changing the world. They just want a good, cheap, nice, comfortable user experience. And so, basically we have two ways to compete on price and user experience, right? So like And it's probably going to be a combination of both. And on the price side, it's just going to take, I think it just takes time to get people used to that, to know about it, get off the centralized exchange, start using us or Near or whoever. Like, it's not like when people are trading on a SEX, it's not like they're constantly checking the quotes of fees and all these other exchanges. Once you're using Coinbase, you're done. You just keep using it. And it's only when things like kind of really get out of whack, it really forces you to change and go somewhere else. And it's kind of like you shopping at your favorite grocery store, right? Prices have to get really out of whack before you actually change grocery stores. And so there's gonna be something really has to happen to push you into that new store. Meanwhile, you got to have the new store just has to like just keep going. Like if our prices are higher than a centralized exchange, and maybe we come up with this fantastic user experience, but it's still not enough to attract people to switch over. And when they find out about THORChain, like, oh, well, it's way too expensive, I'm not going to go to that store. And then now that's their initial experience with THORChain is expensive, I don't want to touch it. And that first impression is locked in their brain now for the next 5 or 10 years. And it's going to take an inordinate amount of work and effort to change their mind, their opinion on it. Whereas if their first time they hear about THORChain, the first time they use it, oh, wow, this is way cheaper than a centralized exchange. That is now locked into their brain. And so maybe they do make the switch and they come over.
Word of mouth, maybe too, right? They tell their friends, hey, dude, like, whoa, this is so much cheaper.
And so it's just like I was talking about people trying to, fork THORChain or Sarai and create a competing product to THORChain. We're trying to create a competing product to centralized exchanges. We're trying to, well, maybe I'm actually kind of disproving one of my points. It's hard to pull money from a competitor, pull business, right? Once somebody's implanted, right? Once somebody's there, but you got to come in cheaper. But that's one of the ways, right, to try and get the customers to make the switch is being cheaper. I think we just have to hold on to it. Like that's our cost of doing business is like we got to stay cheaper for longer. Yeah. Anyway, I'll stop.
Sorry, go ahead. I'm just trying. There's so many points. I'm trying to keep them all in my head. But go ahead, Denny. I'll try to hold on.
I have a slightly different take than both of you, but it kind of goes into Kenton's direction. So, you guys have it's actually really good points on both you're making. I mean, both are totally viable points, 100%. And I'd like to imagine if I'm in a business with Boone, Boone's the CEO. I like it. I say, let's do it, man. You're great. Like this good leadership is a good idea. But you've described THORChain this way before, Boone. You've described THORChain as a decentralized business, and I like that description a lot. I think it's really cool. Maybe the first ever decentralized business where anyone can become, a participant, make a stake. But I think the key word for me is that word decentralized. And if we have this toggle, then it gets a little micromanagey. And the one thing that I think we've demonstrated on THORChain is that we're not good at being quick with micromanagement and changing things, like dealing the consensus of nodes. Now, perhaps, it would just take 3 nodes or whatever, but I kind of like from my brain likes is having it more algorithmic. Sorry, I'm a little tired. And so I'm not sure. And I do like the idea of just treating an XMR just like any other asset on THORChain. There's no difference, like kind of like how Maya treated with Zcash, shielded Zcash, just an asset, just like any other asset. But you are making a good point that we do have a unique selling point here. But I like the long-term vision. I'm willing to sacrifice and crazy yield short-term for a very long-term gain. And I think if we just treat it like any other asset, I think that wins. I think both strategies win, but my brain just prefers Kenton's idea a little bit more just because of how decentralized we are. But if we were a business, more executive, more like, command oriented, then I probably would go with your suggestion. That's what my brain does anyway. I'll let you go, Boone. I know there's a lot to respond to.
Yeah. So I think part of what we're discussing, maybe I could introduce this frame of like two markets. And so I think most people in THORChain land focus on the global market. And so that's when we're competing with Binance and Coinbase, et cetera. Whereas I've been looking more at the permissionless swap market, which is a tiny subsection of that global market. And so if we go back to Tesla, if I remember correctly, and I think Denny walked away, but Denny was an early investor in Tesla. They started off making the Model S, I think, was their first product. And so it was luxury high end. They didn't start building the mass market one. Did you hear me?
It was yeah, I heard you. I just it's a Roadster, but I think the Model S was the first mainline one. Yeah, you're right about that. I
Well,
think.
yeah. So the Roadster was even more luxury,
Yeah,
So
that was
like,
like prototype.
right. So he went after a smaller market that had higher margins, a luxury vehicle market, because then the margins are higher. And you use that as a stepping stone to earn the income or revenue or proof, whatever it is, to prove it out, to eventually then chase the mass market with the three and now the Y. And I think the Y is one of the best selling cars in the world right now, definitely the best selling electric vehicle. But he didn't start there. And I guess that's just kind of what I am proposing. Again, it is a shorter term play, or a medium term play, but it's to monetize where we do have the edge, the permissionless market, to build POL, to bring in more unique node operators, to fund the marketing budget, to capture to chase short-term revenue, and then use that short-term revenue to then pursue the long-term goals. So it's like a medium-term play. It is short term, but we're going to use that to build towards the long term. And that's kind of the perspective that just have. I'll let you guys respond there.
How long would you envision having high prices then? And like at what point or what signal would you be looking for to then, okay, we should start reducing them? We've got our high end, high profit margin business going. This is good. We've got some of this money. Then when do you start lowering the fees to go to more mass production? What would you be looking for?
I mean, well, I mean, this is when Chad's like dynamic fee idea really, fits in. And we could go, I mean, and in general, I think that is a great way to go. And so we can let some kind of algorithmic choice, feed into all that. And then just one other, while I was sharing my thoughts on that feature, I think another big issue, just with the way it's currently implemented, is if I looked at this, I'm pretty sure this is correct, is that the algorithm or the heuristic that the feature uses to decide whether to increase or decrease fees, it just simply looks at the revenue earned by that pair, by that affiliate. And so if that revenue is not normalized against, I think the proper metric would be global exchange volume, then it's going to be a very noisy signal to the point of not being useful. Because if if volume goes up across the board, then we'll earn more revenue. But maybe that's not because the fee is correct. It's just because there was a market event that day and volume went up. And so you don't want the fee adjustment to be jerked around by market events. You want it to, and so I think normalizing against global exchange volume would make it a lot more signal and a lot less noisy. But yeah, I forgot to say this earlier when I was sharing my thoughts on the feature. So that's the other change that I would suggest that we make to make that feature actually do what we all want it to do. But then returning to the conversation at hand is, eventually I think having an algorithm set the fee makes a ton of sense. So
I think what's funny about this conversation is both points work. We're just trying to determine what's optimal, and that's really hard to do, right? So we win either way, I think. It's a really interesting conversation. I'm not sure, to be honest with you, but I think both win. So whatever we decide. I'm just hey Boone, while you're here, good job. I always say this, good job, man, with XMR. And shout out to Luke Parker. I know we were talking about Sarai and competition, but we always like to pay the due. Is Luke Parker did open source this Frost implementation of TSS, which is why we're here. So that's great. So thank you, Luke Parker. Again, we like to say that. But yeah, boys, I'm not sure. It's an interesting conversation, but it can go either way for me. I think once XMR goes live, we win either way, right? It's so cool.
Yeah,
I'm so excited, you guys.
Yeah. It's gonna be good. But it is good for us to have this conversation and talk about it.
Yeah.
We obviously do want to maximize the benefit, yes. Right? So yeah.
I think okay, real quick, I think okay, let's just say we're going with Boone's suggestion, just hypothetically. I think we should get XMR pool running stable first before we do any price manipulation whatsoever. Right? That's what my gut says. Like, let's just get it safe, working, and then once we have a good product, then we can put it out there. That's what my gut says anyway. I hate for someone to get charged 1% and then just be a terrible experience. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I would just say, I mean, I think that's kind of going to be built in, hopefully, to the process where hopefully XMR will go live quite soon. And then, yeah, who knows how long this ADR will take to work through the process. So I think there will be, some amount of time.
Buffer.
Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense. Were you going to say something, Kenton? I kind of cut you off a little bit.
No, it's good.
Well, gosh dang it, it's Sunday, you guys. We tried Amir Taaki. We did get to talk to him a little bit. He asked us questions instead of us asking him questions. So I mean, I guess it was our interview.
I'll try and get him on. I'll try and get him on again. Yeah, I told him he hasn't replied, but I asked him. I said, well, maybe we'll try and plan it for when he's back home and he has his desktop and he's got proper internet. So yeah, I'll try and make it happen, guys. Yeah, like you said, Danny, we don't give up. We'll keep pushing forward. And we don't, fix problems.
Isn't that right, Boone? Yeah. We don't give up. We never stop. We always keep going. Isn't that right, Boone?
We do not give up. And
100%.
More and more, we're becoming unstoppable.
That's right.
Train, baby. Choo-choo, mother effers. Hop on the THORChain. You know what I'm saying? I love it, guys. We're doing really good. So.
Oh, actually, one thing I really did like that Amir surfaced, the possibility of doing formal verification. And that could, and you guys were both talking about this, is, the AI is creating hacks, but then there's the red team and the blue team or whatever.
Yeah.
And this is just my, I've been vibe coding a lot, and just like the tools just get so good. Like I one-shotted something yesterday and it's just like, dev time is quickly gonna stop being like, it's just gonna be a commodity or like that, like it's about the idea or the design rather than the execution. And so, we can move towards perfect code eventually. And I'm very excited about that.
First principles matter, everybody. First principles matter. Never run away from first principles. What THORChain has done is much, much harder than getting market makers and solvers and things like this. Permissionless, non-KYC, truly decentralized liquidity. So much freaking harder. But Boone, Kenton, when we stay true, and now we have AI tooling that can, I'm hoping, to your point, Boone, really just make our code just dynamite, just diamond, right? Just impregnable.
Yeah.
And then
we could refactor to Rust or who knows what's coming down the pipeline. But as the coding tools get better and better, then we can just really, turtle up and become, not ossified, but just like really tight. And then the fact that we're truly permissionless, and then unfortunately due to the THORFi collapse, but the fact that we have this POL, and then as the system income POL feature turns on, I think that'll be a really big moat. And so we were kind of talking, or you guys were mentioning to Amir how like near intense they have their solvers, and that like for example, on 10/10 last year, the market makers all disappeared. They pulled their liquidity, and so Near just shut down. And I won't go open up this can of worms, but just I really do think the space layer order books feature makes a lot of sense, but it has the same issue where it would be kind of matched 1-to-1. And so maybe if we turn our arbs into market makers, then our market makers would pull their liquidity, but then the POL will always be there. So like the PO, like that's another reason to have POL is it's permissionless liquidity. And so to contrast to LPs, maybe for whatever reason an LP wants to pull their liquidity, they don't try, like, for whatever, but so you don't just need a permissionless protocol, you need permissionless liquidity. And so POL will meet that bill as well.
100%. And like you said in the last conversation, was Thursday, you made a great point, that the POL is an asset. It's not a liability. It's not a liability, right? And so
Right.
if XMR gets, if there's a bug in XMR and we lose a few $1,000s, it's our money. Whatever. We learn, we adapt, we refactor, we do whatever we got to do, launch it again, and it's okay. We don't owe. There's no LP to refund. It's our own exogenous capital.
Correct. Yeah.
That's very powerful. Very powerful. Yeah, absolutely, man. So yeah, I love it. Boone, I think it is Sunday. We're going an hour and a half. We did this extra day for Amir, and technical. We got shafted again by technical things. Was there anything else you want to talk about, buddy? I always try to.
No, I was really just hopping on to plug my ADR 29, but then it was kind of snowballed from there.
Yeah, no, that's okay. Thanks for giving us a little content today. And sorry, guys, we're doing the best we can here. I mean, when things happen, it's just beyond our control. But we always put forth the effort, and we'll try again. We can have them on again.
We've done pretty good here, Denny. I think we've been doing these now for, over a year, if you include spaces on Twitter.
Yeah, we have been.
And aside from a Twitter space, rugging us, I think this is the first time we've had an episode fall apart with a guest where we could make it work. So I think we're doing pretty good. So
yeah, I think so.
Yeah, sure. I hope our audience will forgive us, but I will try and get Amir back on. Try and figure it out.
Absolutely. Well, hey, and maybe he can if he wants. I mean, I know if he can hop on Thursday with Chad Bearford. F it, if he wants to hop on, that might be really fun.
Yeah, I mean, people are curious. We do try and push people to Saturdays for me and Denny's schedule, and we want something consistent. If it's someone high profile like Amir, who's time is precious, and it's nice. It's an honor to have someone like that be willing to join us on our little tiny piddly, podcast in the corner of cyberspace. So I do offer other times for people like that. They want to do during the week or whatever, try and fit their schedule. So, if people are curious, reason we're doing Thursdays and Saturdays is to fit our schedules that Denny and I can commit to, and Chad can commit to on Thursdays. Denny and I, for us to commit to on Saturdays. So, and it's worked out I think Saturdays worked out pretty well.
Yeah.
So we do them in the morning, North America time. That's afternoon, evening, European time. So we tend to cover most time zones when people are awake. It's really only Asia we kind of miss out on. But we have had a few people in Asia stay up late to do it with us on Saturday. But that was part of the reasoning too. Just when is the time we can actually be available and commit to this? So Saturdays seem to be working, and we'll keep doing it until it doesn't, I guess.
I mean, I foresee a day, Kenton, where THORChain's so big, the marketing budget has we're doing really good, lots of flush cash. I mean, we could hire some podcasters in Asia who are familiar with THORChain, and they could come on Riverside and do their own show in certain time zones, and right.
Well, dude,
we gotta build to that, of course.
Well, you're gonna fire us already? Come on, man.
No, additive, my brother. Additive.
Okay.
Our show and then their show. They go on.
There you go. One day. I'm excited for that budget. I want to spend the money, guys. It's tough. It's really, there is a bit of a what do you call it? A leap, a cliff. I can spend stuff like for 5, 10, 15 grand, but I'm like, I feel like a lot of it's gonna be a waste, just kind of the stuff that seems like it'd be worth it, where we could actually get some return, is like 50, 100, 150 grand. So it's a bit of a leap to get into something. And what I'm talking about is like being sponsored in newsletter articles, going out to the audience where they promote THORChain. because like that's, and the more I think about it, the different ideas out there, I feel like that's probably where we're gonna have better bang for our buck, better chance of conversion. And so, especially, and I don't do just one, I want to do multiple, right? People have to hear the same message at least 5 times before it clicks, right? So I want to do one-offs with these platforms. That's why it gets up to 50 or 100 grand or whatever. So I can do multiple, right? Do like a campaign over like several weeks type deal, or a couple months, where it's like it's a constant drip getting out there. I'm going to be doing that with DeFi Llama, right? So signed up with them to basically, I forget what I paid for, 12, I think it was 12 articles. So over the course of a year. And so, basically average once a month. But I have I can dictate that a bit. If I want to do 2 a month for a while type deal, we can do it. And so, but I want to get the dashboard done there, and then get them. So the dashboard is done. The data on DeFi Llama is looking good. And then they're going to the audience, to their newsletter list, promoting THORChain. So if they go look on DeFi Llama, it's all looking good. We're all there. And then just keep on them with THORChain propaganda. So yeah, just to give you guys an idea, this is what how I'm thinking about this, planning to try and do the outreach. I want to do some pay-per-click, pay-per-view stuff. It's like I feel like that money's going to evaporate pretty easily. But I still want to at least try it to see what the results are like. And but I feel like the newsletter stuff might get better bang for our buck here, as opposed, because the pay-per-click stuff, that's like with CoinGecko, it's like 25 grand. Like to do, and that could just be all gone in a day or two. And so yeah, you want to do it on sites that people actually go to, right? That are actually visited, right? So if I'm doing pay-per-click on some website no one's heard of, and it's like, well, how much value does that have? So yeah, it'd be nice to get to the point where you kind of just pay for it all, just start doing everything and just seeing. I don't want to say wasting money, but at least I can afford to experiment more. And whereas right now I got to be really careful what I experiment with. So
yeah, that's rough. That's rough because you don't know like the marketing budget, right? There's always like this, I don't know what you call it, it's like an ambiguity differential between what you want to spend on and then how much revenue you're expecting to get from the swap volume on THORChain. That's hard to navigate a little bit,
Well, and the hack really screwed everything up because
a month.
Now we're a month.
Wow.
That money's gone. Or like we didn't earn anything. Now I got to see what the volume's like when we go back live. And so our working capital is definitely going down, and I don't want to get into a deficit, right? Then I got to default on contracts and stuff, and I don't want to get to that point. So trying to keep a good buffer of working capital. I feel pretty strongly this is we're in the bottom of a bear market. Like this should be the lowest our volumes are and our revenue are. But yeah, I want to avoid going from paycheck to paycheck, right? Like that's gonna put us in a tough spot. So I got to kind of assume that whatever money I spend on the marketing won't work. That we'll get zero out of it, right? So that I can keep going and try other things. If I assume it's going to return something and it doesn't, then that'll put me in a really bad spot. So
that's that's a conservative way to do it. I agree. Or the pay-per-click, I'm wondering, I was giving this a little thought, I would say, because demographics and location is everything usually for pay-per-click. And so I wonder, I don't know. I've never done this before. I've done pay-per-click things. I did affiliate marketing when I was younger. It's a long time, man. But I wonder if we could target Venezuela, maybe African countries.
I think you can.
Or utility.
Yeah, I think it is possible to target by IP address, or on some platforms anyway. Yeah.
So
I actually could use.
I have a question, Kenton.
Yeah.
When STO wallet?
Well, great question, actually. So, IBEC brought this up. Apparently, you can create a wallet with a passkey, new passkeys now, like another like kind of type of password.
Yeah.
Apparently, you can create a wallet with a passkey, and if you've got a password manager on your desktop and on your phone, the passkey goes between the two, right? And so you could set up a wallet, kind of like Keystore, through passkey. And if it's on your password manager, you'd also be able to access it on your phone as well. And so I think, apparently Near is doing something like this, has this option as well. And so that might be a way to get a kind of quick and dirty wallet for THORChain.
Because I think that would be what we want to market to Argentina and the third world, is not just a swapping service, but like you need the wallet too, right? Because they're primarily using payments. And so you need to be able to send and receive and all that.
Well, and like, so I've been thinking about an app, but it would be memoless. So, which IBEC told me it should actually be relatively easy to get something like that out. So it wouldn't be a wallet app. It would be basically just to create memoless transactions. So that's on our list of things. A full-blown actual THORChain wallet. To be honest, that's like the bottom of our list, or bottom of my list anyway. If the community gets loud about it, whatever, and maybe that might help change my thoughts. Just so you guys know, part of how I prioritize stuff is just feedback from the community. Where I hear people complaining, I'm like, okay, we need to get this done or get that done. But basically, we want to do everything. I want to get all these things done. It's just time to do it, right? And like, there's me and 2 people from Unstoppable working on it. So, we don't have unlimited resources.
If they're open to a new vibe coder, I can contribute. I got spare time.
I have asked them about that, but they're like, well, they kind of want to keep, because once you start getting other people involved, then it's like, they don't understand the code base, and you got to explain it to them. And then
well, sure. I mean, I'm just saying, like, I got a good amount of free time on my hand at my job, so.
All right, well, I'll ask them.
Yeah.
But they made it sound like it would actually create more work than less. So, but yeah, then the other thing too with the wallet is I just kind of feel like, well, I think we just keep pushing for existing wallets to support THORChain and the Rune token and whatnot. But I get it. I totally get it, guys. Having a phone app, having everyone a wallet would definitely help with adoption and whatnot. I'm just thinking more like it's just one more thing to support. So yeah. Yeah, I'm not against the idea. It's lower on the priority. Trying to get STO all dialed in, get that all good. And to be honest, I'd like to add a few more browser wallets, like to connect browser wallets to STO. Then right now we're working, trying to get Kepler done, trying to get this affiliate page done so partners can create an account with us. And then get the widget done so people can put the THORChain widget on their website. That's like our main push right now, get those things done. We've had a new backlog of bugs that need to be fixed. And then after that, I think we're going to prioritize having some more browser wallets be connected to STO. And then after that, I think then we can talk about, what's the next big project that we really want to push. And maybe it is a phone app. And maybe we do just start with memoless. Maybe we do get that passkey wallet thing going. And then maybe we can start talking a bit more about an actual wallet. Actually, Boone, like the Unstoppable guys, they're very open, people forking their wallet. And they're proud of that when people fork their wallet and make it their own. So we could fork the Unstoppable wallet.
Is Unstoppable open source?
Yeah.
Oh. Yep. Well, and they work for us, right?
Yeah. What? So we could fork their wallet.
Yeah,
And
why don't we just do that?
maybe that's their answer right there. We fork their wallet, and
Yeah.
then as they're updating their own, we apply their updates to ours.
I mean, but like that is like we'd be cutting into their money. Are you sure they're cool with that? Like,
Yeah, they are. Well,
especially okay.
one, like you said, they work for us, and two, they have. I don't want to start a fight in the community, but they have their own audience. Like
Yeah.
they have their friends, their thing they're doing, right? Like their brand, right? They view working with THORChain enhancing their brand,
Right.
right? Not as cannibalistic. And
Right.
so same with like there's the other wallets that have forked Unstoppable. They do view that as a compliment. Like, yeah,
Okay.
they're competing with the Unstoppable wallet, but they view it as validation for their code, that this is good tech that other people want to emulate it. And so, actually, now that talk about this, I think Ibex already mentioned that. We've already talked about this.
Pretty
About
sure
us-
we have, yeah.
About us. No, me and Ibex, when we have our personal meetings one-on-one.
Oh,
About, building stuff. And he might have actually even brought it up. So, yeah, no, I'm positive he'd be cool with it. And same with the aggregator guys. Like, we had this conversation. I'm like, you work for us, you build this aggregator, you cannot go sell it on your own. That's the deal, right? It's this aggregator is for us. If you're talking to any other wallets about it, they're integrating our aggregator, not yours. They can have their own aggregator for their own wallet for Unstoppable. That's yours. You can do your thing. I'll give you that. But any new wallets, any new platforms, it's the THORChain API, not yours. And they're like, okay, cool, deal. So yeah, like they work for us, Boone. This isn't like,
Yeah.
right?
Well,
So
I mean, I've been all about that Thor kit.
yeah. So, and then they've encouraged me. Like they want to turn on other exchanges and stuff on THORKit, right? They want that. They want to help get our API out there. So it's been great working with them. I think we're very well aligned and we understand each other well. Yeah, I think they want to see THORChain succeed. So go ahead, Denny.
I hope they run a node on THORChain, and then it's completely all win for them.
They're talking about it. I don't know. We talked about it a few months ago. He's asking me about how to do it and whatnot, and so they just might.
Then they're double winning, right?
Exactly.
And it's okay, right?
Yeah.
I back.
Yeah. I don't know if they've actually carried through with it or not yet, but yeah, they're talking about it.
I back.
Yeah.
I back. Yeah, dude, that's perfect. I mean, it's perfectly in line incentives, a brilliant idea.
Yeah.
I know they're bullish on THORChain and they have their, I mean, you just win on every field at that front. You got your own wallet and you're also contributing on THORChain, which means if Boone forks your code and uses THORKit, yeah, it's not going Unstoppable, but you as a node operator, you're getting that yield, baby. So I back.
Yeah.
I back. All right.
going back to the wallet app. The only thing, do you need a company, an entity to get on the app stores? Like, that's the one thing I'm unsure about.
I think Cal would know. Cal would be a good port for that question. Okay. Cal would know, because he struggled with the App Store. Like, he had an aneurysm about he was getting so frustrated. So he would know all the ins and outs.
Well, I remember Voltisig too. They struggled with the App Store and stuff. And I think it's Apple App Store. I think Google was fine.
Yes, Google. Yeah. Android's okay, from what I hear anecdotally. Yeah.
So that'd be the only. I mean, who's going to do that? I'd have to work on that. And that's just like one more thing I don't have to like work on.
Yeah, but you could take that on when you wanted to. If we had the wallet ready, then you get your projects done. Then okay, time to go, baby. So
now that I keep thinking about it, so Ibex said something about an SDK, so you can have. I think it's like that's like the file type, whatever, for an app on your Android. Yeah, and anyone can download it. You can have it like hosted on GitHub or something.
Usually SDK means software development kit, and so it's like a set of tooling rather than an app in and of itself.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong.
SDK file. SDK file. I thought he said. I might be
oh, okay. I could be wrong then. I could just be very wrong here.
Yeah, guys. I'm showing my. I'm not a dev, but the way I remember our conversation, he said something like, you can make the app an SDK file, I guess, and I think you could just host it on GitHub, and then people can download on their phone and use it. You can actually like bypass the App Store.
Yes, for Android, not for Apple.
Yeah, for Android. Yeah, exactly. So we were talking about that, doing that.
But also that I mean, there's not too many people that are going to do that, just to be honest. Like, you have to change a setting, and then there's like a tech hurdle there that just a lot of people won't clear.
Yeah, I believe you. I agree. But as far as being like uncensorable, we could at least
100%.
That, right? Have that, or at least at minimum get that going, and then work on getting deployed in the app stores, right? But at least we've got that option for the people who are tech savvy. I don't know, maybe the unbanked people in Africa or whatever, maybe they've all jailbroken their phones and they're already doing this sort of stuff. I don't know. So yeah. But anyway, boom. We have talked about it. It's just like trying to prioritize, what should we get done first type deal.
No, of course.
Unstoppable wallet. And then IBEC runs a node on THORChain. We win. That's my 3-step process, guys, right there. Boom. What do you think, Boone?
I mean, I'll look into all this, but specifically, no. Like it makes total sense what you're saying, Kenton, about prioritization, and there's so much to do. And I guess what made me think of it, of course, is just when you're talking about, geo-targeting ads to the, Argentina or whatever. And I just want to, I just think it makes sense to consider what the use case of these different markets is. And so I don't think we should target like the third world, which is primarily using crypto for payments, until we have a wallet, is all I was really getting at originally.
Yeah, that's a fair point, because like I do think about that. STO is on a desktop, and the world is mobile, and that's the way it's going, right? And so, that's why I was thinking having an app with memoless is that, because the other thing is too, everyone has their wallet that they already use and already like, right? And so coming up with we all have, I've got probably like 12 different wallets on my phone. I've got 5 different browser wallets, right? Like the last thing I want to do is write another wallet, another seed phrase, right? It's just, managing it all is a nightmare. And so I was thinking, okay, well, rather than ask them to download yet another wallet, why not enable the wallets they already have, that they can already use on their phone, they already have on their phone. And so that's what I was thinking, get a memoless app going that, one, should be easy anyway, and then 2, that any wallet, they can use with any wallet that's already on their phone. That might be a good stepping stone to us, and then having our own wallet. And I think if we have our own wallet too, like the UI's got to be great. We can't just have one just for sake of having one. Like we got to put some effort into it, because that's ultimately how it'll win too, is the UI. I actually let me guys know. Maybe hopefully I'm not. I think the UI on STO is pretty good. Like I was using Uniswap the other day, and I'm like, God, this sucks. And because I'm used to using STO, and I'm like, I think we've done a pretty good job of keeping the UI clean. I think it's easy to use, understand. Do you guys agree, disagree? Please be honest with me.
I think it's good. It's very simple, which is nice. And that's just since you're asking, but maybe you could kind of take a page from Coinbase's book and have like the simple version and then the advanced version and kind of toggle. And so, but that would be way down the road. But I think right now it's great. And then I do have this conversation about wallets made me think of something else that ties into our previous conversation.
I want to just address what you just said about pro and simple. That is also part of our plan. So simple will be the current site, and pro will have all the app layer features. So that's gonna be another big undertaking. And I've been pushing off app layer because it's just really basically not done yet, right? But once Rogeria's kind of got all that done and it's scaling, that'll be the pro version, all the
Cool.
app layer stuff. But sorry, go ahead.
No, just whenever we were going back and forth about like fees and whatnot, one other thing that occurred to me during that conversation is we were talking about going after the global market and competing with Coinbase and Binance. And a big, I think perhaps you underestimate the hurdle for the global user base is the tech knowledge to use just like as simple as a wallet, right? And so I think, you're just like, oh, we want to take, maybe that's why Near Intense hasn't taken that much volume from Coinbase or Binance, is simply taking custody of your own coins is a big, big hurdle. And so, if and then, so you were saying, okay, so maybe THORChain needs to take the lead and we need to lower our fees and do everything we can to capture that global swapper. Then there's an alternative. And I just saw a tweet that kind of made sense. And it was talking about Zuckerberg and what he kind of one of his business strategies. We can look at, say, Instagram or whatever, is to let competitors flesh out a market, build a market, and then go in and capture it after the fact. So you let other people take the risk, and then he just goes in with his distribution and just captures it. And so rather than THORChain taking on the risk to popularize, self custody swaps and all that, we let other protocols spend that time and effort to develop that market. And then once it's developed, then we can step in and undercut them. So that's just like it's a potential strategy to consider.
Well, Zuck he bought Instagram, he bought WhatsApp, right? He didn't build
Right. But
them and then
that was
compete, right?
after they proved
Yeah, yeah,
themselves.
yeah, yeah. I get it. Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
But he bought them. He didn't go and compete with them. Like he tried to compete with Twitter with Threads. That blew up. He tried to compete with the metaverse. That blew up. So anything he's tried to build on his own blew up. But the stuff that he acquired worked. So if I'm gonna keep going with your analogy, which I agree with, let others figure it all out and then just buy the winner. We basically have to buy a wallet and take over a wallet and then just rebrand it and to THORChain. So like,
I mean, yes and no. I don't. I am not a business. I'm not a business major. But again, I mean, so I don't. So we don't necessarily have to compete with every front end because it's the aggregator market that really matters, right? Because almost none of the wallets are doing the routing themselves, right? It's almost all SwapKit in the back end. And so, and how does SwapKit route? It's almost exclusively on fees. And so we can, and if that's true, then you already have the distribution. You don't have to create I mean, I do think we should compete with SwapKit, but like putting that aside for now, like you don't have to create a new aggregator. You just have to have lower fees than every other swapping service, and then that immediately captures the distribution.
yeah. I'm sorry, Bird. I'm not following your line of we were originally talking about like a wallet app, and now you're talking about an aggregator. I'm not making the connection.
No,
Um,
I did jump topics, and I returned. So the what I'm trying to speak to is the concept of letting other swapping protocols such as Near or CoinFlip take on the risk and spend the money to win users from sexes. So like chasing that user experience, spending the money, the advertising to go after the sex user, let them do all that. And then once they've switched over to crypto wallets, then undercut them. Like don't try to compete on price with Near and Chainflip now. Let them offer cheap swaps to the sex. Let them pursue the sex user. We pursue the permissionless market. They pursue the sex user. Once they've converted the sex user to crypto rails, then we capture that market.
This is a viable strategy, I guess, because they're spending money basically, or and allegedly. I didn't confirm this myself.
I have a dashboard to show it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. There you go. So, assuming that's correct, which I have no reason to doubt Boone's analysis, they are bleeding money to get users, and then you can just, when the time's right, whenever that is, you could do that. That's a viable strategy as well. There's so many ways to win here. I mean, that's like me trying to figure out which fruit is more delicious. You know what I mean? I want them all. You know what I mean? Which pie is better? Pecan pie, apple pie? I don't know.
Apple.
Little mousse, apple pie, pecan pie, bro. Pecan. Canadian. Have you ever had pecan pie?
I'm not a big dessert guy, but I do like apple pie.
Have you ever had pecan pie? That was the question.
I'm sure I have.
You couldn't forget if you had it. So delicious, buddy. Get you some of that southern vibe pecan pie. You know what I'm talking about, Boone? You a pecan pie? You better get this answer right, Boone.
I am also not a dessert guy too much, but as far as I might be a rhubarb pie guy.
Oh God, I'm
wow.
at. Let's shut down the space. I'm just kidding. Shit. Well, we're coming on 2 hours, boys.
Yeah, we should wrap it up, I think. Unless Boone, is there anything else you wanted to?
Yeah, Boone, please.
No. I mean, like I think we down the road we should be competing in the aggregator market, and I think we should have a wallet eventually. But you have plenty on your plate, so I'm not trying to.
Well, we are competing in aggregator market.
Okay.
So I mean, we absolutely are, and I actually think it's going well.
How much volume is going through THORChain? I wasn't even aware that like we were doing anything significant.
To be honest, I don't know, not much. But
okay.
We've been paused for a month,
it's a marathon, not a sprint, right? So like,
sure.
We're having good conversations. I think we're at like 22 platforms have the API now.
All right.
Probably half of them are Monero related, and they're waiting for Monero to go live before they switch us on. Randy, we're continuing to have conversations with bigger wallets. There's just a longer sales process. But we're in the arena. We're talking. So
you're saying there's maybe like 10 wallets that are integrating THORChain specifically for Monero?
Don't quote me on that number, but there's several. Yeah.
I love to hear that.
Yeah.
That makes me a proud papa.
Yeah.
Proud papa. Papa Boone.
So, but they all said they want to wait for Monero to go live before they turn on THORChain. So I don't know why they would wait. Like you can still offer other routes, right? Other coins, but I'm not gonna, whatever. It's what they want to do. So yeah. I'm talking to some other people that they don't have a wallet or whatever. They're not savvy to create their own website, but they're interested in the widget. So that's why I really want to get that done. Then so maybe just remind you guys. So the affiliate page on STO, someone's gonna be able to log in, submit their info. Randy and I will get an email that we got a new user, and then we approve them. They get their API key. And then they'll be able to add in their Thor name and set the fee and their preferred asset payout. And they'll be able to manage their whole API key there in that platform. And they'll also have a tab with all their earnings. And then so once they're entering their Thor name, Maya name, their fees, their preferred asset, all kind of stuff, that'll generate the code for a widget. They just copy that code, go paste it in their website, and then they'll have a swap interface on their website. And I've got a few people interested in that. So I really want to get that done. so we can start getting that out. And I actually, this is an example too. Like I'm talking to a newsletter about, promoting THORChain through them, but then we promote the widget swap interface on their website. So then the newsletter can get paid twice. Once from us paying the beat to promote inside the newsletter, and then again from their widget swap interface. And then that's paying the perpetuity. And so rather than just promote THORChain for them, hey, go leave THORChain, go to our website and go trade on it, I can say, go to the newsletter's website and go place a trade. And we're borrowing credibility, right? If the newsletter has our widget on their site, that website's user sees that as more secure, safe, trustworthy, right? Because this is, the newsletter, they already has a relationship with their reader, the reader trusts them. So I like to think it'll be an easier sell and be able to get people on THORChain. I mean, obviously they can skip the website and go right to STO if they want, right? That's not, but at least having our widget on their site should give us more credibility that THORChain is legitimate. So, yeah, I really hope the couple that I'm talking to, if I can pull it off, you guys will be impressed. It'll be good. These aren't just rinky dink, nothing, nobody's never heard of these type deal. So, so that's why I really want to get this affiliate page thing done on STO, get it all so we can get the widget done so I can start working on these deals. Yeah.
Love it, man. I love it. Okay. What
you are crushing it. Well, I just want to say, I just want to thank you, Kenton, for all you're doing for THORChain. I'm so much goes unseen, but yeah, just once again, thank you so much. Really appreciate all your efforts.
Thanks. Well, thanks. Sometimes I am a bit worried, so I'm like, I don't know how much I have to show, but like some of these things they just take so long to get done, to get through, and like SEO is taking much longer than I originally thought to get all these things done, right? So that's why I tease these developers. They tell me a day or two or a week, and it's more like days mean weeks in dev language. Weeks mean months in dev language. And then the sales process with these platforms, right? Trying to get our aggregator there, trying to work out a deal for promotion, whatever. It takes several weeks, just to get the conversation going, let alone come to a deal, right? So, but yeah, I'm do work on this, guys. I'm just pushing forward slowly but surely, and so I'm hoping soon we start seeing some more like real, like actual outreach, like actual marketing for THORChain. So just remind everybody, I was focused on getting STO done and the website homepage done, so that now we can drive people to those websites. Right, so now I'm kind of in phase 2. Now I can start driving people, getting traffic. And so the first one, I guess, would be Sell and Mark Show. That'd be the first real marketing we're doing there with them. Stuff like getting a sign. I have to get a sign built. So I got to get quotes, and I got to talk to these sign shops, and we got to go back and forth. These things just take time. And but thank you, Boone. Thanks for recognizing that, acknowledging that. Yeah,
Boone. Well, the reason because I'm really glad Boone said that, because I tell Kenton this often. I say, hey man, like you're doing a good job. People are really appreciative, and so. But I'm me. I talk to him all the time. He doesn't care about my opinion because I could just be trying to make him feel better. But no, it's 100% true. I'm going to share something for you, Kenton. You be for capitalists. Absolutely, Kenton is the fucking man. So there you go.
Yeah, thanks. Appreciate that. You guys don't see me replying 1 a.m. to Telegram messages to people in another time zone. Well, Coke, we were on Friday night. Coke got kicked out of the YouTube. And so was it Friday night or Saturday or Thursday, Coke? I can't remember. But, stop what I'm doing and go get them back in. So, I do. There's lots of stuff going on behind the scenes, guys. If you don't actually see it, there's definitely stuff going on behind the scenes.
Validate that. I see it a lot, guys. I'm in various groups with Kenton, and it's all kinds of integration partners. He's with all kinds of teams. This is a lot of hard work. These podcasts are the things that you observe, but when the podcast ends, the work is just beginning for him. So remember, Kenton, vacation when you need it. Okay.
Yeah, I gotta take some time off, guys. I'm burning out. So next week and the week after, I'm taking some time off.
That's good.
Well deserved.
Yeah, that's right.
I got to recharge. I want to Stampede. I want to Calgary. I got to have some fun. Get in some trouble. Maybe get slapped in the face by a girl. Maybe get in trouble by the cops. We'll see.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I gotta get in some trouble. Got some fun.
Yeehaw.
Yeah.
Yeehaw, buddy. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And if you ever want to come to the States and blow some more stuff up, man, I'm on speed dial, buddy. Okay.
I definitely want to do that.
I'm sure you could go do it with Boone. I'm sure Boone would be happy to do it with you. Well, I don't know, Boone. Do you live in a communist state? I don't know. You don't.
I do live in a communist state. I'm temporarily in New Jersey, so it's quite hard to blow things up here.
Yeah.
I don't even know if fireworks are legal here.
Oh yeah, that's a bummer, man. Oh well. Well, I know you'll move to a place that's more freedom oriented, or if you don't, you'll change the state eventually.
I think I'm pretty settled on New Hampshire. So.
Oh, you're gonna go move in with Joelle, huh? You're gonna move in with Joelle?
I mean, probably. Yeah.
Yeah, buddy. There you go. We love Joelle over there at Dash. She's a great friend of ours.
Shout out Joelle.
Joelle. Awesome. All right, guys. I think we're gonna cut it there. Just a quick reminder, Boone. You can fork that wallet whenever you want, Unstoppable Wallets. And IBEC, run a node on THORChain. You know you want to do it. Run a node on THORChain, buddy. Okay, that is going to be the last word. Let's get this wrapped up, you guys. Thanks for hanging out there. And Boone, thanks for giving us a little content today. Appreciate it, buddy.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for the conversation and pushback.
Absolutely. Well, actually, I feel like I love it. I think the ultimate thing was like, man, I think everything wins. Just what's more optimal. Very interesting conversation. So I think, really fun conversation.
Yeah, I don't think.
Yeah,
I agree. I don't think it's not trying to push back, but like.
Well, no. I mean, I don't mean I don't know. Like, I feel maybe I'm very disagreeable. Like, if you know the big five personality types, like I'm extremely disagreeable, and so like for me, argument is never like emotional. Like I'm just always pursuing truth as best I understand it, and that's just like my default assumption of the other party. But that turns out to not be the case for like other people. For I don't know, they get their ego and emotions tied up in it, and all of a sudden it's about winning, and that's just not how it is for me. So like when I say pushback, I mean logical pushback, like steel sharpens steel or iron sharpens iron kind of thing, not fighting pushback.
Yeah, exactly. We both want the same thing. We both have the same goal.
Yeah, everyone's on the same page. It's just like, how do we find the best way to achieve that goal and then build consensus around that?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Strong opinions, loosely held. That's what it is, right? Like
I've never understood that. Why I don't get that. What is that? What does that mean?
That means if you're a strong advocate for your position, but if you encounter an argument that convinces you, you will immediately switch sides. There is no ego assigned to your logical.
Okay, but why strong opinions? Like
strong because you work for. Well, I mean, it's just a phrase, right?
Right? There's nothing worse than like a limp wrist.
Yeah, like a limp. Like when I shake your hand, Boone, I want a firm grip. You know what I mean?
You got it. All right, fair enough. Yeah, I always been a little confused.
When I hear someone's position on something, I want to hear the confidence in their voice.
Sure. Right? I guess just in my thinking, like a strong opinion is usually someone who's not open to
dogmatic and
right.
I agree.
Yeah.
Well, maybe
that's where the loosely held port comes in to counteract.
Yeah, in my mind, it's like the way I interpret that saying is like strong opinion is like someone who's like passionate.
Okay. Like, I mean, I get it.
They believe in it. They really like not necessarily dogmatic, but they're like confident, strong about it. But like you said, Boone, but they're more
pursuing
truth, and that's actually is their what they stand behind.
I get excited when I get proved wrong. If Boone told me something and he corrected me, like that makes me happy because he just fixed an error within myself. I'm all about error correction. I'm all about optimization of my own self, and that's so important. People like a lot. Unfortunately, I think we're kind of unusual, our personality types,
right?
Because
Yeah,
a lot of people they turtle, right? They want to hide in their shell.
Yeah, I find myself in arguments, and then like I don't know. I mean, I'm just trying to get to the truth and the best. And then I don't know, other people are taking it real personal, and I'm just like, I'm not trying to be personal about any of this, you know?
Yeah, I get it. No, I understand, and I that's why I really like you, man, because that's what you are, just a logical beast, and that's what we need. You know what I mean? So absolutely, just keep doing what you're doing, Boone. With XMR is coming online, right? So you're doing something right.
You guys as well. You both are very reasonable people, and it's always enjoyable to debate stuff with you.
Likewise, man. Likewise. We all have our own unique experiences and knowledge base, right? Like, Kenton has his thing, you have thing, I have my thing, and usually when we come at each other, like usually we all find the optimal path. It takes all of us to build THORChain, it really does, and to maintain it and do the best. And so yeah, love it, man. Okay, 100%. Guys, we're gonna end it. Likewise, brother. Okay, guys, we're gonna end it up there. So for THORChain data and insights, please, guys, follow at Ray Analytics on X. He does written recaps of these podcasts too. Ray, if you want to take this one off, no big deal. But maybe there's some good stuff we actually could say with Boone. That was probably good, but kind of had a little topic change on this one. And always remember, guys, the views expressed are solely of the hosts and guests. Any action taken is based on on this information at your own risk. Past performance is not indicative of future results. The THORChain community does not endorse or condone illicit activity of any kind whatsoever. We're going to have our Thursday episode, of course, guys. XMR is coming. Next Saturday, we're going to have Bazaar Swap. We're going to have Flynn from Bazaar Swap and Nikita from Decentranet. I'm really excited to talk to them. And then the following week, I don't think Kenton's going to make this one, but I'll do it. It's going to be Volti-Sig, guys. I think it's when Kenton's taking his vacation. Well-deserved again, Kenton. And that's what's going to happen, you guys. So thank you, everyone, again, for hanging out today. We'll catch you guys on the next one. Enjoy your Sunday, everybody. Bye-bye.